And away we go, episode 1279 of the Al Galdi podcast. It is Thursday, March 12th, 2026. What do you think that Washington Commanders general manager Adam Peters is thinking right now? He should pay zero attention to what people on social media say about him, but if he is aware of a portion of the Commanders fan base having just shredded him at various points this week for him not doing more in free agency, well, what might he be thinking right now? At this moment in time, what is AP thinking? My guess is that he's thinking that he wishes that he, to all of his critics on social media, could say what Bryan Cranston, as the all-time great character Walter White / Heisenberg once said in the all-time great television show Breaking Bad. A request to say his name. Adam Peters, off What Went Down on Wednesday, would like all of his critics to say his name.
Say my name. Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
Yeah, Adam Peters to all of his critics off What Went Down on Wednesday. Say my name. Adam Peters is Heisenberg, or at least he was on Wednesday. Hello and welcome to this Thursday installment of the Al Galdi podcast. Hashtag let Adam cook. Are we back to using that now? I'm not sure. Someone let me know. But Wednesday ended up being quite the day for our team. Wednesday was day 3 of the legal tampering period in the NFL's 2026 offseason, and it was day 1 of the NFL's 2026 league year. Happy New Year. 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday was when the legal tampering period ended and the new league year began, marking when teams this offseason can begin officially signing external players who have become unrestricted free agents via expiring contracts, and marking when teams this offseason can officially begin executing trades of players. Next segment, discussion of what went down with the Commanders' offense on Wednesday, including the team reportedly agreeing with unrestricted free agent tight end Chigoziem Okonkwo on a contract, and the Commanders losing running back Chris Rodriguez, who they non-tendered and who then agreed on a contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars as an unrestricted free agent. The following segment, discussion of what went down with the Commanders' defense on Wednesday, including reports of the team trying but failing to get unrestricted free agent edge defender Trey Hendrickson, but also the Commanders reportedly agreeing on contracts with unrestricted free agent edge defenders K'Lavon Chaisson and Charles Omenihu, and unrestricted free agent safety Nick Cro, as the revamping of the defense continues. But our team on Wednesday, per reports, agreed on contracts with 4 unrestricted free agent acquisitions. Tight end Chig Okonkwo, edge defenders K'Lavon Chaisson and Charles Omenihu, and safety Nick Cro. Hashtag let Adam cook. And then I will get into conversation about the Commanders' QB2, Marcus Mariota, as the team on Wednesday morning officially announced having re-signed him, with him having been set to become an unrestricted free agent with the start of the new league year. And Mariota on Wednesday morning did a press conference during which he addressed why he has signed with the Commanders now in each of 3 consecutive years, the Commanders' change at offensive coordinator, the rough 2025 season for QB1 Jayden Daniels, and more. Also on the show, a breakdown of another loss for the Washington Capitals, a 4-1 loss at the Philadelphia Flyers on Wednesday night. The Caps are fading when it comes to making the Stanley Cup playoffs this season. And on the show, we'll talk college basketball of conference tournament games on Wednesday for Maryland, Georgetown, and Liberty. Maryland's season is over, but Georgetown's season continues, and an upset loss for Liberty. Before we get to feedback, news from 2026 Washington Nationals spring training in West Palm Beach, Florida. The Nats on Wednesday morning announced that Cade Cavalli is their 2026 opening day starting pitcher. Opening day is in 2 weeks, Thursday, March 26th. Nats at the Chicago Cubs on Thursday afternoon, March 26th at 2:20 for Game 1 of a 3-game series. But good for Cade Cavalli for getting this honor. Quite the journey for this guy. The Nats took Cavalli with the number 22 overall pick in the 2020 2020 MLB draft out of the University of Oklahoma. Cavalli in March 2023 underwent Tommy John surgery on his right elbow. He pitched briefly in the minors in the 2024 season. He struggled for AAA Rochester last season, but the Nats last August 6th announced having recalled Cavalli from Rochester, and he at the major league level in the 2025 regular season, of having made just one career MLB regular season start, had the following stats: 10 starts, ERA of 4.25, whip of 1.48. The whip was high, but the ERA you can work with, and as important as anything was that he stayed healthy, and his velocity during this spring training has been quite good. Now, I do wonder what the Nats naming Cavalli as their opening day starter means for Josiah Gray, because if you're going solely off merit, Gray deserves to be the opening day starter more than Cavalli does. But Gray is coming off 2 consecutive lost seasons, off on July 24th, 2024, having undergone both Tommy John surgery and an internal brace procedure on his right UCL. And the presumption is that he in the 2026 regular season will be on a workload limit of some kind. So he could begin the regular season in the minors before being called up to the majors to truly get his season going. You can hit me up on X at Al Galdi. You can email me the Al Galdi podcast at yahoo.com. From Disco on X on Kansas City Chiefs unrestricted free agent linebacker Leo Chenal, with whom the Commanders reportedly agreed on a contract on Tuesday. Those reports came out on Tuesday evening. Writes Disco, "I think he's a blue chip talent." Thank you for that, Disco. There is so much to like about Leo Chenal. I talked about that at length on Wednesday's show, episode 1278, but specific to Chenal's talent, the athleticism is superb, and athleticism clearly is something that Commanders general manager Adam Peters especially values. You likely have heard me talk about and talk with Kent Lee Platty, the man who created the groundbreaking metric Relative Athletic Score, RAS or RAS. I've had Kent on the podcast multiple times. So RAS grades a player's measurements and NFL scouting combine / pro day metrics on a 0 to 10 scale compared to his peer group. The idea, and it's a good one, is to give context to a player's height, weight, 40-yard dash time, bench press, vertical jump, broad jump, etc. The Commanders, for each of their 2 NFL drafts with Adam Peters as GM, have been number 1 in the NFL in average relative athletic score for players taken in the draft. And take a listen to the RAS scores for 2 of the team's prominent reported free agent acquisitions this offseason. Edge defender Odafe Oweh, he scored a 9.92 RAS out of a possible 10. That ranked number 12 out of 1,371 defensive end prospects from 1987 through 2021. Oweh at Penn State's Pro Day in March 2021 ran either a 4.36 second or a 4.37 second 40-yard dash, depending on what you use as a reference. But either way, incredible. And linebacker Leo Chenal, he registered a 9.99 RAS out of a possible 10. That ranked number 3 out of 2,410 linebacker prospects from 1987 through 2022. I don't know if Adam Peters literally is looking at the RAS scores for players. What I do know is that so many of the players who he as Commanders GM has acquired have excelled in RAS. Hey, if you are a Commanders fan, check out bgobsession.com, an outstanding site for Commanders discussion. Now's the perfect time to check out bgobsession.com with the NFL's new league year underway. The Sons of Washington forum on bgobsession.com is so good. A lot of smart and funny conversation. BG Obsession, or BGO, has been going strong since 2009. Great contests, game day chats, and camaraderie. No politics, just football. Both old school and new school fans are welcome. Visit and join BGO at bgobsession.com. bgobsession.com, home to your burgundy and gold obsession.
Big thanks to our sponsor, BetterHelp, for partnering with us for this important conversation about mental health.
This is Steve Smith here, former NFL wide receiver and host of the 89 show on YouTube. So having a counselor and working with BetterHelp, that gives you an opportunity to really start to unpack. But people don't understand, when you unpack things, you also open up a box that you're not always sure what's inside. So I think that's why seeing a professional is extremely important. If you need someone to open up to, visit BetterHelp. That's betterhelp.com/89 to get started.
Hey, please consider subscribing to the podcast if you're not already doing that. Subscribing to the podcast costs nothing. Make sure that you never miss an episode and helps out the podcast a lot. And if you're already subscribing, thank you. Let's talk Washington Commanders offense off a wild Wednesday, what was day 3 of the legal tampering period in the NFL's 2026 offseason, and what was day 1 of the NFL's 2026-2027 league year. We on Wednesday afternoon had reports that the Commanders had agreed with Tennessee Titans unrestricted free agent tight end Chigoziem Okonkwo on a contract. What is a 3-year contract? Chig Okonkwo. Does Washington and Chig Okonkwo have its best tight end since Jordan Reed? Maybe. I hope. It certainly could. The 2026 season will be just Okonkwo's age 27 season. He went to the University of Maryland. Okonkwo was with Maryland for 4 seasons, 2018 through 2021. He sat out the 2020 season, but played in the 2018, 2019, and 2021 seasons. So the Titans took Okonkwo in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL Draft. Okonkwo for the Titans put up solid numbers despite playing on Titans teams with bad quarterback play. Okonkwo for the 2025 regular season averaged 6.11 yards after catch per reception, ranking number 6 among all qualified tight ends in the NFL per Pro Football Reference. He, with hopefully high-level quarterback play from Jayden Daniels, is poised to truly break out, but Okonkwo can generate yak. The guy has been a consistent producer. He has been durable. He, over his 4 NFL seasons, has played, and you're ready for this, 68 of a possible 68 regular season games. He has not missed a single regular season game over his 4 NFL seasons. We wondered if the Commanders might just go into the 2026 season with Ben Sinnott as their number 1 tight end. After all, Commanders general manager Adam Peters took Sinnott in the 2nd round of the 2024 NFL Draft out of Kansas State. You don't spend a 2nd-round pick on a pass-catching tight end for him not to be your number 1 tight end, right? Well, Chig Okonkwo now is the Commanders' number 1 tight end. Now, that doesn't mean that Sinnott can't be very involved and very productive. Plenty of teams get significant pass-catching production from multiple tight ends, but the Commanders clearly are not just handing the number 1 tight end job to Ben Sinnott, who, of course, spent his first 2 NFL seasons playing behind Zach Ertz and even John Bates. Bates remains the team's number 1 blocking tight end, but Chig Okonkwo now is the Commanders' number 1 tight end. Of that, there is no doubt a very good weapon for Jayden Daniels, a really nice addition to the Commanders' new look offense with David Blau now as offensive coordinator. Also, we on Wednesday afternoon had reports that the Commanders had non-tendered running back Chris Rodriguez Jr., making him an unrestricted free agent as opposed to a restricted free agent, and we shortly after had reports that he had agreed on a contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who gave him a nice contract, a 2-year, $10 million contract with $6.2 million fully guaranteed at signing. The Jags on Wednesday evening officially announced having agreed with Rodriguez on a contract. Chris Rodriguez is going into just his age 26 season. I like Rodriguez. He, to me, never got as many carries here as he should have gotten, and he was productive when he did get carries. So the Commanders took Rodriguez in the 6th round of the 2023 NFL Draft out of the University of Kentucky. He, over 3 regular seasons with the Commanders, was a very efficient running back. 198 carries for 920 yards and 10 touchdowns, a yards per carry of 4.68, a rushing success rate of 58.1. Those are good numbers that, to me, warranted more work for Chris Rodriguez. Now, he, over 3 regular seasons with the Commanders, did have a mere 6 receptions. Yeah, that was it. 6 catches. He is not viewed as a polished pass catcher. That did not help his cause in terms of being re-signed by the Commanders. And I do go back to this. NBC Sports fantasy football expert Matthew Berry, who is a big Commanders fan, he in an NBCSports.com piece that came out on March 2nd had multiple items on the Commanders, including this, quote, "I'm told the Washington Commanders want a thumper. And by that, I mean a true early down star running back. They felt like once Austin Eckler went down last year, the run game struggled. They think Chris Rodriguez is a nice back, but don't like him in the passing game." and they clearly found something in Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, a.k.a. Bill, but think of him more as a 2 or a 3 than a true lead back. My guess is the running back who leads Washington in touches next year isn't currently on their roster, end quote. We'll see if the Commanders get it back via free agency or trade this offseason. But yeah, I am wondering what I'm sure many of you are wondering. Is our team, with its number 7 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, in fact eyeing taking Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love? Now, look, I am not a fan of spending a top 10 pick on a running back, but that doesn't mean that the Commanders would not take a running back with a top 10 pick. And, you know, if this guy is as good as some people are saying, I mean, some people are gushing over this guy, maybe he ends up being the best player on the Commanders draft board when that number 7 overall pick comes up. By the way, the Jags head coach, Liam Cohen, he was Kentucky's offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for the 2021 and 2023 seasons. The 2021 season was Chris Rodriguez's 4th of 5 seasons at Kentucky. So some familiarity for Chris Rodriguez with his new head coach, Liam Cohen. Let's discuss what went down with the Washington Commanders defense on Wednesday, what was day 3 of the legal tampering period in the NFL's 2026 offseason, and what was day 1 of the NFL's 2026-2027 league year. We, on Wednesday's show, episode 1278, discussed how the Commanders, over the first 2 days of the legal tampering period this offseason, were reported as being in on, but ultimately missing on, 4 notable unrestricted free agents: receivers Alec Pierce and Romeo Doubs, center Tyler Linderbaum, and edge defender Jalen Phillips. And we had some scheduled fun with the phrase, quote, the Commanders were in on, end quote, having become a popular phrase. Well, we on Wednesday learned of yet another notable unrestricted free agent on whom the Commanders tried and missed, edge defender Trey Hendrickson, and this ties in with what has been all the rage in the NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders on Tuesday night stunningly announcing that the Baltimore Ravens had backed out of an agreed-upon trade for Raiders edge defender Max Crosby. The reported reason for the Ravens backing out was them having concerns about Crosby's health, and then, wouldn't you know it, we on Wednesday morning had reports that the Ravens had agreed with Cincinnati Bengals unrestricted free agent edge defender Trey Hendrickson on a contract. So did the Ravens really truly have concerns about Crosby's health, or did the Ravens simply reconsider the heavy compensation that they were giving up in trading for Crosby, reportedly 2 first-round picks? So once the Ravens realized that they could get Hendrickson without having to give up draft compensation. Anyway, the reporting was that the Commanders, wait for it, were in on Hendrickson. ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler, he on Wednesday morning in a post on X, quote, the Colts, Bills, Bucks, Commanders, and Eagles all were involved in Trey Hendrickson's free agency before the All-Pro agreed to terms with the Ravens per sources. The Colts felt like they were close at one point. The Eagles got involved late. Tampa pursued, but on a short-term deal. Hendrickson wanted a long-term deal with a contender. Buffalo fit that mold, but Baltimore put it over the top Tuesday night, end quote. Commanders insider John Keim of ESPN, he on Wednesday morning in a post on X said that the Commanders in pursuing Hendrickson were, quote, very aggressive, end quote. So the Commanders were in on Trey Hendrickson, didn't get him. Yet another miss for the team in free agency this offseason. But by the end of Wednesday, the team had landed multiple major free agent acquisitions, including 3 on defense. We on Wednesday morning had reports that the Commanders had agreed with New England Patriots unrestricted free agent edge defender K'Lavon Chaisson on a contract, what is a 1-year contract. We on Wednesday afternoon had reports that the Commanders had agreed with Indianapolis Colts unrestricted free agent safety Nick Cro on a contract, what is a 2-year contract. And we on Wednesday evening had reports that the Commanders had agreed with Kansas City Chiefs unrestricted free agent edge defender Charles Omenihu on a contract, which reportedly is a one-year deal. K'Lavon Chaisson is going into just his age 27 season, was taken by the Jacksonville Jaguars with the number 20 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft out of LSU. He played for the Jags for the 2020 through 2023 seasons, but the Jags did not exercise the fifth-year option in his rookie contract. He in March 2024 signed with the Carolina Panthers as an unrestricted free agent, but they on September 3rd, 2024 released him. He on September 10th, 2024 signed with the Las Vegas Raiders as an unrestricted free agent. He spent the 2024 season with the Raiders, and he then spent the 2025 season with the Patriots, off signing with them as an unrestricted free agent in March 2025. But he had a good 2025 season. Chaisson for the Patriots in the 2025 regular season played in 16 of the team's 17 games, had 7.5 sacks, and per Pro Football Focus had 54 pressures. He in the Patriots 4 games in the postseason for the 2025 season had 3 sacks, and per PFF had 20 pressures. We on Monday afternoon had reports that the Commanders had agreed with Los Angeles Chargers unrestricted free agent edge defender Odafe Oweh on a contract. K'Lavon Chaisson and Odafe Oweh are 2 edge defenders for whom the best may well be yet to come. Each guy in recent seasons has demonstrated increased pass rush production. And how about this? Per the NFL's next-gen stats, Odafe Oweh and K'Lavon Chaisson in the 2025 regular season each had 52 pressures. That blows away the highest pressure total for the Commanders for the 2025 regular season. Interior defensive lineman Daron Payne, 28 pressures. Yeah, Payne's 28 was the best on the team. Odafe Oweh and K'Lavon Chaisson each had 52. Quite the difference. Nick Cro, so he's a local. He went to DeMatha Catholic High School in Hyattsville, Maryland, then went to the University of Maryland, played for the Terrapins for the 2019 through 2021 seasons, was taken by the Indianapolis Colts in the 3rd round of the 2022 NFL Draft. The 2026 season will be just Cross's age 25 season. He is young. He is a superb athlete. Cross scored a 9.87 out of a possible 10 in Kent Lee Platty's relative athletic score, RAS or RAS metric. This ranked number 12 out of 846 free safety prospects from 1987 through 2022. He has been productive, especially against the run. Cross for the 2025 regular season per the NFL's next-gen stats was tied with Las Vegas Raiders safety and former Commander safety Jeremy Chinn for number 1 among all NFL safeties in run stops, resulting in an unsuccessful offensive play, 33. And Cross has been durable. Cross over 4 NFL seasons, 2022 through 2025, all with the Colts, played in 67 of a possible 68 regular season games. There are 3 traits that are consistently coming up for Commanders free agent acquisitions this offseason: youth, athleticism, and durability. Cross excels in all 3: youth, athleticism, and durability. And then Charles Omenihu, he gives the Commanders defensive line depth. The 2026 season will be his age 29 season. He was taken by the Houston Texans in the 5th round of the 2019 NFL Draft out of the University of Texas. So he was with the San Francisco 49ers during Commanders general manager Adam Peters' time as Niners assistant general manager. And so how about the remaking of the Commanders defense in free agency so far? You look at the reported defensive acquisitions for the team in free agency so far this offseason. Edge defenders Odafe Oweh, K'Lavon Chaisson, and Charles Omenihu. Interior defensive lineman Tim Settle. Linebacker Leo Chenal. Cornerback Amik Robertson. And safety Nick Cro. Adam Peters has made addressing the defense a huge priority in free agency. 7 notable additions in free agency so far. Hey, if you have a case, contact the NACE Law Group, Accident and Injury Lawyers. If you feel that you've been wronged, if you think that you've been wronged but aren't sure, contact The Nace Law Group, accident and injury lawyers, and mention that Al Galdi sent you. You could call 202-902-7611. You could also visit Washington, D.C., injurylawyers.com, and submit for a free, no-obligation case review. The Nace Law Group, it features compassionate lawyers and zealous advocates for its clients. Led by the great Chris Nace and founded in 1979, the Nace Law Group is a Washington, D.C.-based family law firm that handles medical malpractice, personal injury, birth injury, legal malpractice, and consumer protection cases, offering aggressive advocacy for victims in Washington, D.C. and West Virginia. The Nace Law Group is outstanding. It will fight for you and your family. The Nace Law Group has recovered millions of dollars for the sick and injured. If you have a case, contact the Nace Law Group. We always hope that all is well with you, but if you have an issue, if you have concerns, contact the Nace Law Group. Call 202-902-7611 or visit Washington, D.C., injurylawyers.com and tell the Nace Law Group that Al Galdi sent you. The Nace Law Group, accident and injury lawyers. This past Monday afternoon, what was day one of the legal tampering period in the NFL's 2026 offseason, had reports that unrestricted free agent quarterback Marcus Mariota had agreed to re-sign with the Washington Commanders, and the team on Wednesday morning, what was day three of the legal tampering period and what was day one of the NFL's 2026-2027 league year, announced having re-signed Mariota. The announcement came via a post on X at 7:47 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, and then Mariota did a press conference on Wednesday morning in the 8 o'clock Eastern hour. Mariota was up early on Wednesday. Here was Mariota on re-signing with the Commanders.
The atmosphere that's created through DQ is one that I love being a part of. And there was, to me, no doubt in my mind that I wanted to be back, and nothing really knocked my socks off. So this is where I wanted to be, and I'm privileged and blessed to be back.
Yeah, this marks a third consecutive March in which Marcus Mariota has signed with the Commanders. The team on March 14th, 2024, announced the signing of Mariota as an unrestricted free agent. The team on March 13th, 2025, announced having re-signed Mariota as an unrestricted free agent. And now the team on March 11th, 2026, has announced having re-signed Mariota as an unrestricted free agent. And as much as we all get sick of hearing about the culture, okay, Mariota continually signing with the Commanders is a big endorsement of their culture. This is a guy who has admitted to wanting to be a starter again. That's not happening here. We know that. And Mariota on Wednesday morning admitted to having wanted to be out west. This is not out west. This is very much East Coast territory. And yet Mariota is back for a third season with the Commanders. We on Wednesday morning had this exchange between Commanders insider David Harrison of WUSA 9 and Mariota.
I want to ask you, as a free agent, when you're going through this process of identifying what team you're going to stay with or join, money's obviously a part of it, but how much is everything else you're talking about, culture and fit and relationships?
Those are important. Those are priorities. We always kind of, as a family, we look at, like, what's the most important things as we head into free agency. For the last few years, it's been location. We've wanted to go back west. To be completely transparent. But that falls below culture and system and those types of things. So for me, regardless of wherever it is, having the opportunity to be in a culture and in an offensive system where it feels like it's going to be catered and allow me to be the best version of myself, that's most important. Everything else is a bonus. And, to be in a great quarterback room like this, to be around Blau and to see this system come to life was a challenge and an opportunity that I didn't want to pass up.
And we heard Marcus Mariota mention the Commanders' offensive system, a new offensive system for the team off the change at offensive coordinator. The team on January 6th parted with offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury. The team on January 10th announced having promoted assistant quarterbacks coach David Blau to offensive coordinator. We on Wednesday morning had this exchange between Commanders insider John Keim of ESPN and Mariota.
There's the change in coordinators, and obviously Cliff is out. You love that offense. But what about David Blau? What do you think about that change? And was that any, how much did you consider that in weighing your options?
Well, from the first time I met Blau, you could tell how smart he was and just an unbelievable person. Not only would he just drive our entire quarterback room with competition and all that kind of stuff, but he was adamant day in and day out of providing whatever we needed, trying to make us the best version of ourselves. And when you build a relationship with somebody like that, you can't help but just try to be a part of it. And I'm excited to see what this all looks like. I think Blau is the perfect fit for this. It is an incredible situation to walk into, but I think through his experiences and all that he's been through, there's no better person for this job.
So more high praise for David Blau, this time from Marcus Mariota. Blau spent the last 2 seasons as the Commanders' assistant quarterbacks coach, so Mariota knows Blau well. But there is significant change for the Commanders' quarterback room considering the many departures. Cliff Kingsbury is gone. Brian Johnson, who spent the last 2 seasons as the Commanders' assistant head coach / offensive pass game coordinator, he's gone. The Los Angeles Rams on February 23rd, in announcing their 2026 coaching staff, announced the hiring of Johnson as senior offensive assistant and announced the hiring of Cliff Kingsbury as assistant head coach and Tavita Pritchard, who had been the Commanders quarterbacks coach since February 28th, 2023. He's gone. Stanford University this past November 28th announced having hired Tavita Pritchard as head coach. The Commanders' new quarterbacks coach is DJ Williams. The team's new assistant quarterbacks coach is Danny Etling. We on Wednesday morning had this exchange between Commanders insider J.P. Finley of NBC4 and Mariota.
I'm curious, as much as you talked about DQ being there and Blau being there from, since you joined here, there is obviously a lot of continuity, but there's also a lot of differences now. How does that feel going forward?
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of similar to when I first got here. And the importance of creating a healthy quarterback room is really our standard. And again, like I said, quarterback rooms across the league aren't like this. Not everybody in there is close. Not everybody wants to see the guy who's play well, and I didn't want to pass that up. So for us, the continuity in that room is important amongst the players, and really when it comes down to it, Blau has been through all of that with us. He's seen how great it can be. He can also see when things are hard and tough, and I think all those challenges, all those experiences will only make this room better. And when it comes down to it, the health is and the mindset of this quarterback room is the most important thing in the entire building.
So there had been a thought that Marcus Mariota would go wherever Cliff Kingsbury went, but Kingsbury did not get a head coaching job, nor did he get an offensive play caller job. He is the Rams' assistant head coach, but the Rams' offense is the offense of the head coach, former Redskins offensive coordinator Sean McVay. But Mariota was and is a big Kingsbury fan. We on Wednesday morning had this exchange between Commanders insider Ben Standig of Last Man Standing on Substack and Mariota.
You talked about David Blau. When did you find out that Cliff wasn't coming back, and how surprised were you ultimately, knowing how much you had fondness for the system, that he wasn't coming back?
Yeah, I learned early on in the offseason, and had conversations and all those kinds of things, and just checking in. And, it was tough. I really believe in Cliff. I believe in who he is. I believe in the system that he implements. And, it's tough to see him go. And, we had conversations just catching up and checking in. And, he's somebody that I really look to as somebody that I learned a lot from, and as a mentor, and somebody that I developed a really good relationship with. So I'm excited to see where he goes. I'm excited to see how that all pans out for him. But like I said, I learned a lot from him, and I'm grateful for the 2 years with him.
Well, I'm very happy that the Commanders this offseason have re-signed Marcus Mariota. He, for the team, has played well when called upon. Mariota in the 2024 regular season got significant playing time in 2 games. Was terrific in each of them. The 47 win over the Carolina Panthers at Northwest Stadium on October 20th, 2024, and the regular season ending 23-19 win at the Dallas Cowboys on January 5th, 2025. Mariota in the 2025 regular season played in 11 games, including 8 starts. As the QB1, Jayden Daniels played in just 7 of the team's 17 games due to getting injured 4 times. But Mariota for the 2025 regular season had some good stats. A total QBR per ESPN of 50.2. Look, that's not great, but that is decent. Yards per pass attempt of 7.47. That's pretty good. Yards per completion of 12.19. That's very good. And I mentioned this on this past Tuesday's show, episode 1277, but Mariota for the 2025 regular season per the NFL's Next Gen Stats had an average intended air yards of 10.2, ranking number 1 out of 42 NFL quarterbacks, each with at least 135 pass attempts. So Mariota this past regular season was an aggressive thrower of the football downfield. Mariota has consistently been praised for his leadership and relationship with Jayden Daniels. We on Wednesday morning had this exchange between Candy Waller of Bowie TV Sports and Mariota.
You all's kind of first year together back in 2024, I think towards the end of the year, everyone started to really see publicly the relationship that you have built with Jayden and the entire quarterback room. So again, going back to last season, what did you learn about Jayden and the adversity that he faced last season?
Well, we talked about it. Every great quarterback has to go through it, has to have the adversity. I think it just creates that foundation for them to really springboard. And that was Jay's moment. That was kind of his undertaking. And for all of us to be there to support him through that was important. And again, like I said, it was a privilege to be a part of that. I don't love the circumstances of which I played, but to help him through that, to help him kind of navigate that all was important. Because at some point in time, we all get banged up, we all get hurt, and that mindset can be wearing on you, and it can be tough. And the more that we could see him be just uplifted about being at practice, being around the guys, was cool. And I could really see kind of all those things manifesting into something great for him. And he believes it. We all believe in him. And the more that we can continue to breathe that confidence into him, I really believe the sky's the limit.
I have a lot of respect for Marcus Mariota, and I very much like him as our team's QB2. But yeah, that he in the 2025 regular season played in more games than Jayden Daniels played in, not good. Hey, whatever big event you are planning, a wedding, a party, whatever, consider using a great sponsor of this podcast, cateringbyuptown.com. Visit cateringbyuptown.com and make sure that you mention that Al Galdi sent you. Catering by Uptown is outstanding. It is a family business. It is run by the Pereiras, who are great Washington Commanders fans. Catering by Uptown is committed to meeting your every need with elegance and precision. Catering by Uptown takes care of every detail so that you can enjoy your event. And Catering by Uptown's specialty is weddings. Get excellent service at an affordable price. In fact, if you visit cateringbyuptown.com and click on venues, you can check out Catering by Uptown's premier wedding venues. Visit cateringbyuptown.com and make sure that you mention that Al Galdi sent you. That's cateringbyuptown.com and make sure that you mention that Al Galdi sent you. Bad loss for the Washington Capitals from a standing standpoint. A 4-1 loss at the Philadelphia Flyers on Wednesday night. The Caps lost for a 4th time in 5 games, with each of the 4 losses being a regulation loss. So the Caps won the first period 1-0, but then lost the rest of the game 4-0. And so the Caps in the NHL's 2025-2026 regular season now are 32-27-7, good for 71 points, tied with the Flyers for 5th place in the Eastern Conference's wildcard standings. But the Caps have played 2 more games than the Flyers have played, and the Caps at 71 points are 7 points behind the Boston Bruins for the second of 2 wildcard spots in the Eastern Conference, and the Caps have played 2 more games than the Bruins have played. The Caps are running out of time to make up ground. They lost this game 4-1 despite dominating 5-on-5 play. Now, each team had 22 shots on goal, but the Caps per natural stat trick had 51 5-on-5 shot attempts to the Flyers' 30, including 7 17 5-on-5 high danger shot attempts to the Flyers 10. The Flyers starting goaltender Samuel Ersson, he stopped 21 of the 22 shots on goal that he faced. The Caps starting goaltender was their number one goaltender Logan Thompson. He stopped 18 of the 21 shots on goal that he faced. The Caps lost despite a good game on special teams, 2 for 2 on the penalty kill and 1 for 3 on the power play.
Trying to get the Caps up early. No score, 10 minutes in. Puck fired here, they score! Ryan Leonard picks it up and goes short side on Samuel Ersson. 10:09 to go in the first. It's a power play goal for Ryan Leonard. It's 1-0 Washington.
John Walton on the Washington Capitals radio network. Second line right wing Ryan Leonard. He scored a power play goal 9:51 into the first period, giving him 13 goals in this regular season, and he was number 2 on the Caps with 4 hits. Caps top line left wing Alex Ovechkin, he had a primary assist, giving him 27 assists in this regular season. He had a team high tying 8 total shot attempts, including a team high 5 shots on goal, and he was tied for number 5 on the Caps in 5-on-5 shot attempt percentage for the game per natural stat trick at 66.67. The Caps with Ovi on the ice in 5-on-5 situations in the game had 12 shot attempts versus allowing 6 shot attempts. But the Caps did lose, so their healthy scratches for this loss at the Flyers on Wednesday night were defenseman Declan Chisholm and Dylan McElrath and winger Ivan Miroshnichenko. Regarding the Caps' 2 acquisitions from 2026 NHL trade deadline day this past Friday, defenseman Timothy Liljegren did play. He made his Caps debut, but forward David Kampf still has not played for the Caps. He has been dealing with a visa problem. Here was Caps head coach Spencer Carberry during his post-game session with reporters on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought we played hard. I thought we're right there. Probably the chances are going to be pretty even. I just find we're not making enough plays, and that tonight, Calgary was fine, but just with the puck, we left a lot on the table. From you get into some situations, and that last play or that flat pass or that shot that gets through as opposed to getting blocked, we had a lot of misplays with the puck that just got to be better with their execution.
All right, next up for the Caps at the Buffalo Sabres, Thursday night at 7.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
And let's talk college basketball. One of the worst seasons in Maryland history is over. Number 17 seeded Maryland lost to number 9 seeded Iowa 75-64 at the United Center in Chicago on Wednesday afternoon in the second round of the 2026 Big Ten tournament. Maryland fell to 7-11 in Big Ten tournament games since joining the conference beginning with the 2014-2015 season. Maryland blew an 11-point first half lead. The Terrapins in the first half held an 11-point lead at 21-10. They then lost the rest of the game 65-43. Terps players in the program's first season with Buzz Williams as head coach did not quit on Williams, and I was glad to see that. This was a horrendous season, but the players did continue to play hard for Williams, so that's a credit to him. But make no mistake, this was a debacle of a season. Maryland this season had 21 losses over the regular season and postseason, tying for the most losses for the program in a season ever. Maryland in the 1940-1941 regular season went 1-21 overall, including 0-13 in the Southern Conference. No postseason for Maryland that season. Maryland in the 2025-2026 regular season went 11-20 overall, including 4-16 in the Big Ten. setting a program record for most conference losses in a regular season. Neither 6'9" Texas A&M transfer Pharrell Payne nor 6'3" Indiana transfer Miles Rice played again this season off a lengthy absence. Payne did not play in each of the Terps' final 22 games, this due to a right knee injury. Rice did not play in each of the Terps' final 12 games. So the presumption is that Maryland will seek a medical redshirt for Payne, but who's to say that he won't transfer in the coming weeks? I mean, same thing with a bright spot as the team's season went on. 6'4" Texas A&M transfer and redshirt freshman Andre Mills. Who's to say that he won't transfer in the coming weeks? In this era of the NCAA transfer portal and NIL, you never know with these guys. Now, I am not ready to bail on Buzz Williams. His overall track record as a head coach is good. He came to Maryland having over 18 seasons as a collegiate head coach, led his programs to 11 NCAA tournament appearances and 13 20-win seasons. But the roster that he put together for this season was that close to good enough. Being a head coach in college basketball now is as much about roster building as being a head coach in college basketball now is about recruiting. Yes, he was put in a tough spot in being hired late in the 2025 coaching cycle. Maryland hiring him was not announced until this past April 1st. He had to rebuild the team off the departure of Maryland head coach Kevin Willard to become Villanova head coach. But, plenty of head coaches in their first seasons of programs did better than Buzz Williams did this season. See Virginia's Ryan Odom. Maryland's not firing Buzz Williams after just one season as the program's head coach, but there is significant pressure on him to have a good offseason and have a much better team next season. He has put together a well-regarded recruiting class, a recruiting class led by Baba Oladotun, a consensus five-star recruit from James Hubert Blake High School in Silver Spring, Maryland. But college basketball, like college football now, is more about the portal than the sport is about recruiting. Meantime, Georgetown's season continues, season number 3 for the Hoyas, with Ed Cooley as head coach. Not done yet. Number 11 seeded Georgetown beat number 6 seeded DePaul 63-56 at Madison Square Garden in New York City on Wednesday night in the first round of the Big East tournament. Georgetown notched its first win in a Big East tournament game since winning the 2021 Big East tournament. The Hoyas in this win over DePaul overcame an 8-point first-half deficit. 50 of Georgetown's 63 points came from just 3 guys: Vincent Iwuchukwu, Jeremiah Williams, and Malik Mack. 7-1 St. John's transfer Vincent Iwuchukwu. He, in just 23 minutes, 15 seconds as a reserve, had 17 points and 14 rebounds, including 3 offensive boards. He went 2 for 2 on threes and 7 for 8 on free throws. Did go just 2 for 7 on twos. 6'4 Rutgers transfer Jeremiah Williams, 25-48 as a starter. 17 points, 2 steals, 2 assists versus 1 turnover, and a game best plus-minus rating of plus 13. He went just 1 for 3 on threes and just 5 for 10 on twos, but did go 4 for 4 on free throws. And 6'2 Malik Mack, he in 34-10 as a starter had 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. He went 6 for 9 on twos and 4 for 4 on free throws. Did go 0 for 3 on threes and did commit 4 turnovers. So Georgetown remained without one of its best players in 6'4 Arizona transfer KJ Lewis. So he is done for the season due to a left ankle injury that he suffered in a 76-60 loss to Marquette at Capital One Arena on February 24th. But Georgetown did get back 6'5 Baylor transfer Langston Love from an 11-game absence. And so we have number 11 seeded Georgetown versus number 3 seeded Villanova at Madison Square Garden in New York City on Thursday night at approximately 9:30 in the quarterfinals of the Big East tournament. And a big upset in the 2026 Conference USA tournament. Number 1 seeded Liberty lost to number 9 seeded Missouri State 77-69 at Probst Arena in Huntsville, Alabama on Wednesday evening in the quarterfinals. Liberty for this game was a 5.5-point favorite per multiple outlets, but the Flames blew a 10-point first-half lead. Very disappointing loss. Now, Liberty has automatically qualified for the NIT, so the Flames season isn't necessarily over. Liberty's a good program. Its head coach is Richie McKay. This is his second stint as Liberty head coach. He was Liberty head coach March 2007 to April 2009. He then was associate head coach at Virginia April 2009 to March 2015, and he has been back as Liberty's head coach since April 1st, 2015. Liberty on March 4th, 2025 announced having agreed with McKay on a contract extension through the 2030-2031 season. But Liberty now is almost certainly not making the 2026 NCAA tournament, despite having won the Conference USA regular season title for this season. And that'll do it for you and me for now. Keep the feedback coming. You can hit me up on X at Al Galdi. You can email me the Al Galdi podcast at yahoo.com. Friday's show, episode 1280. We'll have much more on the Washington Commanders. Also on Friday's show, I'll talk Washington Capitals, Washington Wizards, and college basketball. The Caps are at the Buffalo Sabres Thursday night at 7. The Wizards are at the Orlando Magic Thursday night at 7. We have number 11 seeded Georgetown versus number 3 seeded Villanova at Madison Square Garden in New York City on Thursday night at approximately 9:30 in the quarterfinals of the Big East tournament. We have number 2 seeded Virginia versus number 7 seeded NC State at Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina on Thursday at noon in the quarterfinals of the ACC tournament. And we have 2 games of note in the second round of the Atlantic 10 tournament, which is taking place at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. Number 9 seeded George Washington versus number 8 seeded Fordham Thursday morning at 11:30. And number 5 seeded George Mason versus number 13 seeded St. Bonaventure Thursday afternoon at approximately 2. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and I'll talk to you on Friday.
Say my name. Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.